Recording in progress. We got it.
This is Rockin' with Jam Man. It's with Albert Bouchard. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Great. It's beautiful weather here. It's fall still, and winter has not come yet. So it's a beautiful day, and having a good time.
I don't
How
know
about?
about beautiful here. It's already like raining. Just
Oh no.
it's really cold out. It's just oh, it's
Yeah, yeah.
freezing,
That's what
freezing
they.
right now.
It's tomorrow night. They're gonna. That we're getting that weather.
It also said on Saturday for us that it's gonna snow.
Ooh, snow.
I know. Doesn't sound that fun, does it?
Snow is great for like about 2 or 3 hours. Then it's like, okay, go. You can go now.
You can go. Go. Congratulations on your new track, Independence Day. That song is pretty cool, man. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I this the follow up record came along very quickly. But I did have a lot of help, more help than on the last one. So a lot of people after the last record, everybody's like, "Hey, can I play on your record?" I'm like, "Sure,
Sure,
sure."
sure. Everybody come on my record. Come on.
Bro, man, he just pulls people up out of the audience. Come on.
Come on, man. Come
Yeah, yeah,
on.
yeah. Hey, Kiss guy, come on up.
Yeah, you. Come on.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Great.
so this is your brother singing on this one, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I talked to him. I sent him all the guys in Blue Oyster Cult. I sent the rough mixes as I was working on them, and I said, whatever you want to work on. I figured that they would want to work on different stuff, and of course, it was true. And he chose that song. It wasn't finished at the time that I sent it to him, so I said, "Well, you can help me write it too." The same thing with the Three Sisters, the one that I did with Buck Dharma. So yeah, so they helped a lot, and Richie Castellano, he's from BOC also. He helped a lot. So he actually recorded Eric, and but he is a multi-talented guy. I don't know if you've seen any of the Blue Oyster Cult stuff, but he uh, he produced their 4 videos from their last record in one day. One day,
Wow.
4 videos, and they, the that was me, which is the video that I'm on. That's got 400,000 views. So
Wow,
not
that's pretty cool, man.
yeah, not
Way
bad.
better than I can ever get.
Oh well, don't say that. You're just getting started.
I actually built I actually built it up 1,000 followers. I built it up 1,000 on Facebook.
That's a big step. I just did 1,000. I just got 1,000 last year.
Wow, pretty
Yeah.
cool, man.
So and I've been 10 years. But really, I had a day job, so as a teacher in a school, so that took most of my time. As
Uh,
a matter of fact, I started my YouTube thing to show my students how easy it was to do. I was like, you guys, you should all have YouTube channels. So I started it, and then I got into it, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And now I haven't been teaching for 3 years, so I can do music full time. So.
um, sorry. What was the writing process like on this album?
Okay, so all of the songs are written except for two. The two songs that Independence Day, I didn't have all the lyrics. I had the music, or most of the music. Uh, and so when I gave it to my brother, I'm like, I need some help on these lyrics. He's very good with lyrics. So he studied English in college, which I didn't do. Well, not until graduate school. So he had a head start on working on lyrics, and so it was written originally by Sandy Pearlman, and Sandy Pearlman passed away 5 years ago. So you know, he never got to finish it. We had spoke about doing it when he was in the hospital, but he never made it. So I had to, you know, and if people would say, "Are you going to do the second volume? Are you going to do the? Is it going to be a whole trilogy?" Because that's sort of supposed to be. It was supposed to be a trilogy of 3 records. So I said, "Well, if the first one sells well, you know, I'll do it." But you know, thanks to people like you, it sold great, great. I made the charts and everything. Uh, so I had to do it, you know. And but I'm like, oh, I got it fixed. I got to finish this song here. So Joe helped me with that, and the other song was Three Sisters, which was another song that I'd written with Sandy Pearlman, and I'd actually made a demo of that, and I sent it to Buck Dharma from Blue Oyster Cult, and he said, "Yeah, I want to change some things." I said, "Fine, whatever you want to change, just do your thing, man." So that was it. It was pretty easy, you know. I think that that's one of the reasons why I was able to crank it out, you know, within a year of the, actually less than a year of the last record. So, um, yeah, it helped a lot to have the songs already written. I'm working on another record, but that one, all the songs are written. So I don't have to write that either. So, I mean, I haven't been writing that much. I've been writing a little bit, but mostly arranging. Like, I like to surprise people when they hear when they hear the song and they've already heard it, you know. And a lot of these songs I recorded myself, so they expect me to do the same thing, but I never do the same thing. I always change it up. You know, sometimes I put a violin in there, or a trumpet, or some other instrument that they're not expecting, or sometimes I change the key, or I'll make it very sparse and slow, or very fast and dense. So I try to do all things different.
You guys really have a great sound, though. You guys really do have a wonderful sound.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, man, don't thank me. Thank yourself. I don't know.
Well, thank you for the compliment. That's, you know, what is that liquid death? Are you drinking beer?
No, this is actually mountain water.
Oh,
It looks really like alcohol, doesn't it?
it's badass. I love it.
Don't worry, I'm not getting smashed already when I'm 10. Not getting that face already. Don't worry.
Good.
Don't plan it on it anytime soon.
Got plenty of time for that, believe me.
Now this is off the album Imaginos II, Bombs Over Germany, -0 and counting. Is that right?
Yes.
So this is a concept album about fighting aliens?
Well, no. The aliens are getting the humans to fight amongst themselves,
Oh.
and conquer things. So they provided this magic mirror, which when people look in it, I don't know, they think bad thoughts and they do bad things.
Oh,
They have
okay.
thoughts. So that's pretty much the in a nutshell. That's what it is. So this album is the dark chapter. The first album was like more or less talking about this Imaginos guy and how he has magic powers, and he travels around and he discovers things. And in the very end of the album, he discovers the mirror. And so this one, the mirror starts doing its whatever it is, its business, its acts, you know, with humanity on behalf of the aliens. And so the next chapter is going to be after this act. It ends with half-life time, which is, of course, half-life has to do with radiation, and so that ends with the nuclear holocaust, where humanity is destroyed. There's a nuclear war, and you know, most of our civilization is wiped out.
Okay.
So the next one is what happens after that.
I
So
can't I can't wait to see the movie.
yeah. I know it could be a movie. It should It should be actually, but we'll see. Who knows? I mean, I put this out in 1988 with Blue Oyster Cult, and it didn't do very well. And even though a lot of people really liked it, like Metallica, like James Hetfield said, this is the best record I've ever heard. And I was like, well, thanks, man, but you know, your record is pretty good. I like that too. So but um uh so I wanted to redo it, and it came out much better. I think it was more clear, and so as far as what it was about. And so I'm trying to continue that with these next two records, with this one and the one that's going to come out probably maybe next year, maybe not. I don't know. I got all busy with now that the COVID thing is loosened up, I have gigs. So I have a bunch of gigs. Well, not a whole lot, but it's different. If you've been playing a lot, you don't have to practice so much. But if you haven't been playing, and I've been recording these songs, but it's different when you're recording because you just, you don't play and sing at the same time. You're just playing, and then you play this part and you play that part, and then you play the lead, and then you sing the vocal, and you don't have to think about what you're doing on the guitar. Whereas when you're playing live, you have to do everything all at once. So it takes a more work to even just to do a few gigs. It takes as much work to do one gig as it does to do 5 gigs. Yeah.
Definitely have been busy on this one then.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been really busy, and I'm also playing with two other groups, playing gigs.
Oh,
So we have to practice those groups too. So there's a lot of, I retired from my teaching job to play music full time, and now I'm really getting to do it. So I'm grateful that I can do that.
good for you, man. Good for you. How did you come up with this?
Well, I mean, I the whole idea was my manager, Sandy Perlman, and Sandy he told me this story when I met him. I guess I was about 20 years old in 1967, so maybe 68. No, it was 67, and so I was just 20 years old, and he told me this story, and I thought, oh. That's really interesting. That sounds like, some epic story like the Iliad and the Odyssey, from Homer, the Greek storyteller, it sounded like something like that, or even to put it in more modern terms, like a Star Wars trilogy, or even the Dune series, all of these things that have these continuations, this epic story that has lots of different facets, lots of things that you can go little tangents you can go off on, but it's still telling the same story. So
I see you had my friend Rob the Boss on this one. On Ross the Boss on this album.
yeah, yeah, he's great. He's great, and he's playing in this other group, the Dictators, that I play with. So we've been working on a Christmas song. It's almost done, but I got some crazy ideas I want him to try. But he's a great guitar player, and whenever I've been working with him since since the early '70s, so many years, for almost 40 years, maybe 40 years, yeah. And so he knows, if I come up with him crazy ideas, he's gonna go for it. He's gonna put everything into it that he can, try and make it work.
You guys are in a punk band, the Dictators. Is that right? You guys are in a punk rock band.
Yep. Yeah, they were really the original punks. Before the Ramones and before the Sex Pistols, it was the Dictators, and they played. You could say, well, they didn't really copy the Dictators, the Ramones and the Sex Pistols. But the fact is, they played together before, when I mean, they would open those guys. Joey Ramone's band would open for the Dictators, and the Sex Pistols, heard the Dictators years before they started. So sometimes, I think that the Dictators were the reason why they wanted to be a band. So they very, very ahead of their time, and it's odd that they weren't more successful, but it doesn't pay to be, I mean, I suppose if you said financially they weren't that successful, but as terms of how many people they influenced and how they made their mark in music, they were very successful.
And you had the original members of Blue Oyster Cult on this album with you?
Yes, yes. Yep. Everybody that's still alive. I mean, one guy has passed away now. So, I did do one of his songs on there, though. So, he's present in the writing in the sense of having written the song.
What was it like getting back with him? What was it like?
Oh, it was great. It was great. I mean, we have a great relationship. I left the band in 1981 under not so good circumstances. We were kind of fighting, and really didn't want to have anything to do with them for a while, and vice versa. So it was nice to work together. I mean, this is not the first thing. Since 2013, basically, we've been working together off and on. But this is definitely, for me, this was a big deal, to have them on my record, my solo record, so to have all of them on it, I mean, Buck Dharma has played on some of my other, records that I've done with other friends or other groups. So, but he's never played on any of my solo records. So this was really great.
Is that a plane?
Yeah. There's an airport. It's a little one propeller. It's like people have like it's like a private airport. Where they have these little Cessnas and small planes. So it's just about a quarter of a mile away. So, through the woods there.
Now,
Yeah,
Sandy. Oh, sorry.
I said I'm out on Long Island. I'm not in my Manhattan. I think the last time I was in my Manhattan. What did I do? We got a freeze.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, my connection is. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Okay. I thought I was just the one having with bad connection. I don't know what just happened there. You froze. Okay.
No, yeah, you froze too. So, but I know it's me because this is not a great connection out here. So.
Now, Sandy was responsible for getting Blue Oyster Cult together.
No, but he was responsible for keeping us together. So every time we would want to quit, or he would say, "Oh, what do you need? Do you need some money?" We'd like, "No, we need a record deal, or we need a booking agent." And so he would whatever we needed, he would find a way to get it for. We need a van. He'd get a van for us. So he came from a wealthy family, but he was a very generous person.
Mm.
So, and he loved the band, and he had a vision. He would tell us, oh, you should wear this or wear that, or I like this song, but you should never play that song again. So, and we took him seriously. I mean, he really was a big influence on the band.
Why was he never a member of the band?
He wasn't enough of a musician, I think. That was I mean, we tried, he was our singer for a little while, for like a day, for one day. And sometimes when we would be playing in clubs, and you'd have to play like 3 or 4 sets, you'd play 45 minutes, then you'd take 15 minutes off, and then you'd play another four. This is how it used to be in the old days because nobody had there was no DJs, and the club PA system was not very good. So the band had to play the whole time. And except for the 15 minutes where people would go to the bathroom and then get more beer. So in those situations, he would come up and sing with us or play his harmonica and stuff. And it was always entertaining and kind of weird, but he didn't have a great sense of rhythm. That was the biggest problem. He had great pitch, but and he didn't his voice was like kind of fragile, like kind of how the weekend sounds. I don't know if you know the
Yeah,
week.
like oh,
That. Yeah, really high. So it was cool, but it wasn't exactly. It didn't fit into the songs that we were writing. So even though he was the lyricist, so even though I think he wanted to be in the band, and we kind of wanted him to be, but it just wasn't going to happen. And so.
yeah. Now, is it true Sandy wanted Blue Oyster Cult to be the American answer to Black Sabbath?
No, that's not true either. That was the record company,
Oh,
and so the record company. He said, "What would it take for you to get to sign Blue Oyster Cult?" Or we weren't even called Blue Oyster Cult then. We were the Stock Forest Group, and he said, "What would it take for you guys to sign these guys?" And they said, "Well, if they sounded like more like Black Sabbath, if they were like America's answer to Black Sabbath, that would be amazing." And so that was how it was presented to us, as the record company who said they would sign us if we can sound like Black Sabbath. So we we worked up we took like 6 of our songs that were most like Black Sabbath, the most bluesy songs, and we tried to change them a little bit to be more like Black Sabbath. Just 6 of them, not our whole, because we had so many songs we were playing, and we were playing in the clubs at the time. So we weren't going to change our whole thing. We just tried it out. And we played it for the Columbia people, and they loved it. So we got signed. And so then we had to make all the songs sound like that. And I think for the first album or the first 2 albums, we stuck with that formula. But we had been on tour with Alice Cooper a couple times, in '72 and '73. So we watched them and we said, we don't have to sound like anybody. We can just try and sound as unique as possible, and sound as much as like ourselves, because that seemed to be what Alice Cooper was doing. They were going out and just being them, being as weird as they wanted to be, and they weren't trying to be any other group. They weren't imitating anybody that you could recognize. So that was more of an influence later. After by the third album, we were sounding more like Alice Cooper, I think. So, but we weren't really trying to sound like them. We were how they influenced us was more how they didn't try and sound like anybody else. And we said, yeah, we why should we sound like Black Sabbath? We don't need to do that.
I
So
don't need this.
yeah, we
Yeah,
can do it. Yeah,
we can do this by ourselves. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
And then Sandy ended up managing Black Sabbath. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Ironically, yeah.
Mhm. But the Dio version, not the Ozzy version, right?
Yeah. Ozzy had left the band by then. I think, I know we played with the Ozzy version in the very early days, and all I remember is that Ozzy and I went drinking, and Bill Ward was already too drunk to have any more beer, so he was really drunk. But Ozzy and I got pretty stoned, on beer. So, but he was a good guy, you know. But I idolized Ronnie Dio. I thought, you know, when he joined Black Sabbath, I was like, oh my God, this now they're going to be unstoppable. You know, they've got this great lead singer. So, and then we got to tour with him, and that was really great, really fun.
And is that how the Black and Blue tour came about?
Yes, yes. Sandy was the manager, and he said, "Oh, I think you know." He talked to some promoters, and they said, "Oh, yeah, that would sell out everywhere," and it did. It did.
So was it a co-heading headline bill and you guys take turn closing out the shows?
That's right. Every other show we switched. So, which Black Sabbath didn't really like because we, you know, originally when we played with them, we were the opening act. So they're like, "How do these guys get to be headlining now?" And it's called a hit because "Fear the Reaper" was a bigger hit than any of their songs. So
Now I heard you both had crazy stage setups and and it took an hour between your sets to tear down and put the stage up. Put the stage up. Is that right?
no, I don't. Well, it did. Sometimes it would take an hour, but it was only when we headlined. We headlined, it took an hour because it took. Was that? Yeah, yeah. Because they would take their time getting their stuff off the stage. So because the stage needed to be cleared, and that's traditional. You know, when you have an opening act, you know, as soon as they finish, they vacate the stage. But for some reason, there was some thing where they would never get off the stage. They would take their time getting their stuff off the stage, and so it took us longer to get on. We were frustrated by that. That it took them so long to take. You know, whenever we opened for them, we would get our stuff off. You know, lickety split, and they could come on whenever they wanted, you know, and most of the time they did come on right away, you know, but when they were the opening act, the shows went late.
Or just like slow. Just slow.
Yeah. Slow, slow. So, and I don't know if they're trying to put more distance between us or something. I'm not sure exactly why that happened, but it did, and it was frustrating.
The rumor has it is that one of your roadies yelled at Dio, sorry, and you had to fire him. Is that right? Is that actually true?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, we had to fire Rhodey because he made some comment uh, about Ronnie Dio. And originally, I heard that he made a comment about how short Ronnie Dio was. But that, to me, that would not make any sense because Blue Oyster Cult are all about the same size as Ronnie Dio too. We were all short. So why would a roadie say that? But you know, whatever. He said something, and they were offended, and I thought, well, that's how
Not
about
nice.
yeah? I mean, you know, if that happened in my school, right?
Hmm.
I would get the two kids together, whoever said what, and I'd say, why were you so upset about what he said, and do you understand that this person is upset and that you hurt their feelings or whatever, and so you work it out like that. That's what you're supposed to do, and especially if you're an adult. Kids, sometimes they get attitudes and it's hard to to talk them out of it, but in my school, that's I was the dean for a while, so uh that's I would facilitate these things where people could talk it out and say, okay, we're going to squash this beef. Okay, the beef has to be squashed. Okay, because we can't have people beefing in the school. It's just not cool.
So that is that kind of rhyme. Beef can't be
Yeah,
beefing in the school. That's not cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I would tend to do that, and they would go, "Oh man, this, this white guy is so corny."
I actually like that for some reason. Is it because I'm white?
I don't know. No, no. The thing is, my students, they knew I was corny, and they loved it. They thought, because if the teacher is corny, then it makes the students feel cool.
I get that. I get that. I have actually kind of a corny teacher as well, actually.
Yeah, and I bet you like them too.
Yeah, oh, of course we do. The entire class loves them.
Yeah.
And you and Tony got into your hotel room, got into it at your hotel room. Is that right?
Oh, it wasn't really getting into it. It was that I was practicing my acoustic guitar, and I was actually working on a song, and he knocked on my door and said, "Yeah, hey man, we're trying to sleep, and can you like not do that?" And I said, "Okay, okay." So he had some girl with him.
Oh, you know what that means.
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, I guess, I mean, yeah, he wasn't, he said he was trying to sleep, but I don't know if that's really what he was doing.
Did you hear anything like,
Oh, no, 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 he didn't. No, he just knocked on the, Tony is a reserved Englishman. He's not, I mean, Ozzy would have knocked on the wall, you know.
oh, okay.
But Tony, yeah, Ozzy is not a reserved Englishman. He's like one of those, guys that just lets it all hang out, like
Yeah, he's one
there's
of those
a,
guys.
I mean, yeah, there's two different kinds of English musicians. There's the reserved guy like Tony Iommi or Richie Blackmore. I mean, I once sat on a plane with Richie Blackmore next to me in the next seat, and he didn't say a word the whole flight. And he wasn't sleeping either, and he wasn't reading, he was just sitting there staring. I don't,
How weird. That just sounds weird. Imagine, okay, imagine if I did that the entire, well, we're supposed to look at each other. Just imagine just me. Like,
yeah, yeah, just staring. For the whole, it was like flying from Fayetteville to Lexington or something. It wasn't a long flight. It was like maybe 45 minutes tops. But, I was sitting next to him, and I tried to start a conversation. I said, "Hey man, good set last night. You were on fire."
and he was like,
Yeah, it was like not even looking at me, just like looking straight ahead. I'm like, "Oh, maybe
oh.
he's deaf."
Maybe I should help him a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Tony was not very verbose. No, not at all.
I have to ask, if you're a drummer, why were you playing the guitar anyway?
Well, because I like to play guitar, and the other thing about playing the guitar is you can get right up in the front of you can get right in front of people. You
Okay.
can, get to the front, and so after a while you get tired of being all the way in the back, and I'd been playing guitar since I when I started playing the drums is when I started playing guitar. So I've been playing for a long time, and I never really worked at it like I worked at the drums, and not in the beginning anyway. So, but I had been playing for a long time, and eventually I started working. Like we had a routine. Eric Bloom, our lead singer, he had this idea that at the end of the show, why don't you get off the drums and come out, and we'll play five guitars we'll stand on the lip of the stage, and you can get out there and play, and see the people, and they can, and it made for great pictures. I mean, most of the best pictures of me were when I was playing guitar with them. So, because it's hard to get, the drummer is he's got all these drums in front of him, and there's a cymbal, and
I actually played the drums in school, actually.
oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
Wow, yeah.
Is it?
Well, the drums are that's the most fun instrument to play by
Oh my,
far.
He said that I did amazing actually because I just got really into the songs that he played. We played like "Come and Get Your Love" or like James Brown,
Oh, yeah, Redbone. I love those guys. That's a great song.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So why do you think you guys hate each other so much?
Who hates who?
You and Black Sabbath during
Oh,
that
Black
tour.
Sabbath. Oh, I don't think we hate each other. I mean, I don't know. I never. I mean, I I can't really say that I get along with Tony because I have never really had a real conversation. And I think one of the most things that he ever said was, "Can you stop playing?
Can
You
you
stop
stop
that."
playing?
But Ozzy is a great guy. Love Ozzy, and Ronnie Dio was a fantastic guy. Actually, I knew him before he was in Black Sabbath, so he was always really cool and super talented. And Bill Ward, I don't really know. I never met him that much. Geezer is a wonderful guy, quiet, but a great player, great lyricist, and a nice guy. I mean, he seemed nice, and of course, Vinny at a piece. Vinny is one of my best friends. So, yeah, I would not say I hate Black Sabbath. No, that would not work. I don't hate anybody really, but I don't think that Black Sabbath hates Blue Oyster Cult either. Tony didn't want to put out the video because he felt that Black Sabbath didn't come off that well.
So tell me about the night the riot broke out in Malwick. I heard the fans were throwing frisbees around and then hit Tony with a Jack Daniels bottle.
I heard it was Geezer. Geezer got hit,
Mm.
and I wasn't there. I'd already
Oh,
gone back
okay.
to the hotel. So we opened for them, and then there was a riot. They had the Black Sabbath wouldn't come back on after Geezer got hit. He had to have stitches. So I mean,
That's
it
yeah.
was yeah, that's not cool, man. I don't blame him. That kind of takes the heart out of you.
Yeah, especially. And like riots are scary. Riots can be scary sometimes, especially at a concert. Remember Woodstock 99?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, how about what just happened
I
with Travis Scott in Texas?
Oh my god, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
people
yeah. No,
died actually. People died that night. Woodstock.
8 people, and a 10-year-old is still in critical condition.
Well, thank God that 10-year-old isn't me, player.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I would think twice about going to a Travis Scott concert now.
Yeah, definitely for sure, man. So what
Yeah.
happened is that somebody in the back was stabbing somebody with needles or something. Stabbing people with needles.
I have no idea what really happened, but it's just terrible. And one of the interviews that I did this week, somebody said, "Have you ever seen that kind of thing?" And I said, "Yes." One time when we opened for Deep Purple
Oh,
in Chicago, and it was this weird venue, and it was that festival seating where there was no seats, and so everybody pushed forward to the stage, and I saw people that looked like they were getting crushed. And what happened was the roadies, the people up onto the stage and then putting them off to the side to say. So, I think we're stuck again.
oh,
Doggone it.
it's a. I'm sorry, man. You keep freezing up.
Yeah, I know. I'm
And
sorry too.
and no, I'm sorry. I keep apologizing. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry I'm apologizing so much.
I can't help myself. I literally always apologize in school, even when I don't do anything. So sometimes that actually gets me in trouble because they think I did it because I keep saying sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this concert, I don't know if you got that last part, but what they did is the roadies came out and pulled the people who were in the front up onto the stage and then put them off to the side so they weren't going to be crushed. That's very dangerous.
Yeah, that sounds. I don't like tight space. It's just imagine like, like the average human weighs like a 200 or 100 pounds. Imagine that just like ram against you, like a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get like a half a dozen people, and now you got 600 pounds on you.
Exactly. That has to feel like
Yeah. That's
oof,
crazy.
definitely. Now this tour was filmed for a movie that released in theaters in 1981. Is that right?
Yeah.
Uh, do you ever think the DVD will come?
No. No. Tony Iommi doesn't like it. He doesn't like the movie. He doesn't like how Black Sabbath. Uh, I think that part of the problem with the movie was that it would show a Blue Oyster Cult song and then a Black Sabbath song, and a Blue Oyster Cult and then a Black Sabbath.
You just uh,
I edited it with all the Blue Oyster Cult songs together and all the Black Sabbath songs, like it would really be in a real concert,
okay.
and it was much better. So I don't know why the people that made the movie made it like that. It was a bad idea, I think. So,
Do you get angry about it
but
sometimes?
whatever.
Because you sound like you were getting angry about it just right now. Oh, angry about it.
No, no, no. I just, it was kind of a waste of money and energy, But I mean, the tour was the tour, I mean, it was just another night on the tour. It was in Nassau Coliseum, which is a local just down the road from me, and the next night we played Madison Square Garden. It was a much better show. So, just goes to show,
Uh,
you feel, oh, you can't really make a movie out of it.
Now, would you say you guys were the bigger band at the time because this was Heaven and Hell version of Black Sabbath and not the Ozzy version? And you guys had bigger hits.
Uh, I think that, yeah, I think we were a bigger band at the time.
Imagine being bigger than Black Sabbath. My God.
I know
That's
the guys that we were imitating, but that's happened. I mean, you know, Kiss opened for us for several years, and
and they
then
became one of the almost biggest bands in the world. That's like imagine dude, you do not realize how famous you guys are. Or you do. I don't know, man. You guys are
yeah,
famous.
yeah. I suppose I never looked at, for me, I just wanted to be a successful musician. I just wanted to be able to go into a club and people would know who I was and say, "Hey, do you want to jam?" Or something like that, or we could talk, and I wouldn't have to be like just like, "Who are you?"
Who?
So I just wanted to fit in with the musicians. Really, that's more, the paparazzi and all of that stuff. I don't know. It's kind of annoying sometimes, or
Oh,
even
definitely.
sometimes the fans, to be quite honest, they can be very pushy and I try to be patient with them, but that part I never really even thought about that. It's more I just wanted to be popular with other musicians.
Have you ever talked with those guys since that tour? Have you ever talked to them?
No, no, honestly, I have not. I mean, that's because I left Blue Oyster Cult shortly after that, like a year later. So I never got to play with him again and hang out backstage like you normally would. Uh, and I don't know, I don't think I've even gone to one of their shows, to be honest. You know, I'd rather go see the Foo Fighters
Hmm. Or go
because
see the Foo Fighters.
What? You get a Natalie Bushnell, playing drums. The 9-year-old phenomenon.
Phenomenon, 9-year-olds.
Yeah, she's amazing. Have you seen her videos?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, did you guys write Godzilla because you loved the movie so much?
Yeah, I would say yeah. The funniest little thing about Godzilla is that it was originally Patti Smith's idea.
Hmm.
Patti Smith had the idea. Well, she had a poem that she wrote, and at the end of the poem it goes Zilla, God, Zilla, God. So that was, and Don Roser, Buck Dharma, he saw that poem and said, "Hey, that's a great idea for a song." I said, "Oh, this poem?" He goes, "No, no, Godzilla, a song about Godzilla. There's nobody writes pop songs about Godzilla, so we did. We got that, and yeah, that's worked out pretty well."
Yeah, man. Wow, that's awesome. That's just like luck, bro. Imagine just having that in a poem for you. God and then Zilla.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. I think that's how it started. Zilla God, Zilla God, Zilla God, Zilla
Zilla
God.
God, Zilla God, Zilla God. Okay. I would love to remake that. Maybe in the future, I can maybe do a drum cover over it. Maybe with my other band in the future.
Yeah, I've done a few covers myself, different ones, so it'd be fun.
Definitely. Sorry about that. It just had the Godzilla just got me going with the definitely. It's crazy. It was never used in a Godzilla movie until the singer from System of the Down covered it in 2019.
Yep, yep, yeah, and that's a great version. I love that.
Mhm.
Well, I like System of Down too. I disappointed they didn't keep playing. That they didn't stay together, but you know,
But a lot
it's
of your songs are used in all kinds of movies and TV shows.
oh yeah, yeah. I know a lot of them, not just the Reaper, but J.K. Rowling used Career of Evil in her what was it, Corman Strike TV series. So they use it in the series, and they use some of the other songs too. So
What?
that's
What? What? Sorry.
I said that's fantastic. I never thought about that. Having my stuff used in a TV show.
Hey, man, that sounds pretty cool, man. I would that. That's actually kind of one of my dreams one day.
Well,
Mm.
dreams they can definitely, if you can imagine it, it can happen.
What is your favorite thing that you have heard in your music? Your music and
Favorite thing? I don't know. I would say that I've come up with some guitar riffs that I think are really great, and every time I play them, I think, oh man, I love this riff. So like on the new record, there's a song called "Shadow of California." It was recorded by Blue Oyster Cult when I wasn't in the band anymore, and I came up with a guitar riff for it that I love. It just makes me smile. Every time I play it, I'm like, hmm, I like this.
I
So
like it.
yeah, it just makes me happy. It's fun to play, and I think it sounds great. So when I hear it, I go, oh, yeah,
Mm, that thing.
that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I got it now.
Yeah.
I would have either picked the Stand or, of course, Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah, yeah. That riff, that skit, I suppose, is that's hysterical. It's just, it always gets me. Every time I see it, I laugh. and I've seen it 100 times. As a matter of fact, when I was teaching, my students would demand, and this is back in, when the skit first came out, they would demand that we perform the skit for the rest of the school, which we would do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
Uh,
great.
how many times do you hear we need more cowbell since that aired?
Oh, more times than I can count, I swear. More than I can count.
Oh, it definitely can. Oh, that's definitely fact. Definitely, that's definitely fact right there. I don't even know if anybody could get that number.
Yeah, well, it's all almost random, but I run these road races. Like I ran last week, I ran the New York City Marathon,
Wow.
and you see it all over the people who banging the cowbell, saying more cowbell, more cowbell. So it's kind of like this sports thing now. More cowbell. It means keep going, keep going,
Keep going. And
persevere.
did you know since I got so famous, it actually was in a $1 billion video game?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's called Fortnite. It actually was in it. It was like,
It was in Fortnite?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't. Nobody ever told me that. That's amazing.
yeah, it got into Fortnite.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest of all time. That and what was the other
Call of
one?
Duty.
Call of Duty. Exactly.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. And
I
those are
literally
the
have it
two.
on my TV screen right now.
Which one?
The new one, the Call of Duty game. I can show you
Oh,
right now.
great, great. Yeah. Wow. Well, we need to get it in Call of Duty too.
Yeah, Call of Duty. I think you definitely could get in World War II. The new game is World War II, basically. uh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, it goes in a little history, actually. What caused you
Oh,
to leave
cool,
the band? What
cool.
caused you to leave the band?
Oh, uh, I think that I was having problems. I think that I was having problems with my family, and I kind of took it out on the band, and it was a weird thing, where I just would get angry and stuff, and they just didn't like it, and even though I wasn't specifically angry at them, I was just angry and not fun to be with. So they said, you need to get your
Life
act
together.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, your life together. So we're gonna get somebody to substitute for you, and you take some time off. And so 6 months later, I said, I'm feeling much better. I'm seeing a therapist and all this other stuff. I'm ready to come back. And they're like, nah, we like the new guy. He's doing fine. You just do what you're doing. I'm like, what? You know?
That's a betrayal.
Well, I did feel that way, for a while, but in the long run, it worked out for me. It forced me to basically pivot. I first of all, as soon as I wasn't in the group, I started interacting with all these other New York City musicians, which is what I wanted to do in the first place. But I couldn't because I was in a successful band and I was always on tour, so I'd never be around, to play with people. So that helped that way. And then when that wasn't enough money for me to pay for my New York City apartment, I got a job as a teacher. And that was a wonderful thing. That was a wonderful learning experience for me. I think learned more from teaching than I ever taught anybody.
Huh.
You know, because I learned how, the psychological, how to criticize people where you don't, destroy them. Where you instead of you criticize them, but you still make them want to push themselves harder instead of just give up. Which I think that I was a little too harsh. when I would criticize people before, and so I know how to do it now better. And there was a whole bunch of things that I learned, in school about psychology and how to get along with people. I guess, you know.
Where did everybody love you as the teacher?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was the popular guy. I mean, and people they're like, "How can you be a dean? You're not a disciplinarian." I said, "Yeah, I'm not, but I have philosophies. I have philosophies that I need to teach these kids. Like for instance, when you're in high school or when you're even in middle school or whatever, you want to start creating good habits, not bad habits. Good. If you create good habits, you can keep going with them. You can like for instance, a good habit is being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Okay. It's a simple thing. You think, oh yeah, of course. But a lot of people don't see it that way. It's like, well, I something happened. I wanted to talk to this girl and and she was giving me static. And so I'm late. So, but it's a good habit to be where you're supposed to be, not where you're not supposed to be. And if you're out in the street and you're where you're not supposed to be, that can have
Bad
serious,
times.
yeah, serious consequences. So you want to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Uh, Another good habit to do is don't put anything off. As soon as you can do it, do it. Get it out of the way. That way you get a lot of stuff done. Instead of worrying about, oh my God, I've got to do this thing. Oh, that takes so much energy to think about like, oh, I've got to do something, So it's better to just get it over with, get it cross that one off, go on to the next one. That's how you get things done. So these kind of things that I would tell kids. Oh, here's one of my favorite ones is that the kids would say, I run this school, and I'm like, oh, you run the school. Is that why every time you see me, you run down the hallway away from me? Sounds like the school is running you.
Do you pay the bills? Do you pay the electric? Do
No,
you get the schools?
yeah, well, I would never even go there with the money stuff because, when you're living at home, it's a whole different thing, and I mean, yeah, I don't know. I really am not a disciplinarian, but I would get
You
kids,
definitely don't seem like it. You
but
definitely.
I would get them to go to their classes. And isn't that the bottom line?
Yeah, exactly.
I get them to do their work. So that's, I would show them why it's a good idea to do that. And if you're really not interested in that class, then okay, you're not interested in it. You're going to get a bad grade. Do you care about that? You don't? Okay, good, fine.
Well,
And
you're
then
gonna
then
fail.
put your energy into the like, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's yeah, I don't believe in forcing people to do anything that they don't want to do unless it's, I mean, the vaccine mandates I'm for just because the only time you can force people to do things is when it's for public health,
Okay.
okay, or safety, public health or public safety. Those are the only times when you are allowed or should be allowed to force people to do anything. Other than that, I mean, yes, you can. We force people to not drink and drive, right?
Yeah,
That,
we force
that's
people to
serious. That
not to drink.
you drink and drive, you can go to jail. Okay,
Exactly. You can die. You can
yeah.
die.
Right, because that is a public safety issue, and it's fair and right to force those things. But if it's not that, then just give it up. Just let people do what they want to do, and try and encourage them to do something that's positive and healthy for them. You know.
Now you rejoin for the Albert Returns tour. Is that right?
What's that now? What's that? Albert returns. You talking about me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah. What is that exactly? What is it? You mean the Imaginos tour that I'm trying to get to happen?
The Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh, with Blue Oyster Cult. Well, nah, I mean, I don't know. They have a new they had their record that they put out last year, which I contributed to, but are only now starting to play those songs live, and I'm sure, and the thing about that album is that I told them when they started, I said, if you want any help with writing the songs, or you want any help with producing or mixing or anything you want, I will be happy to do it for you. But if but I'm not asking you to do anything, to let me do anything, because, you know, when I toured with them in 2016, I said, you guys, and I went out to dinner with just the new guys, not the old guys. There's Buck and Eric are the old guys, and then there's Jules, Danny, and Richie that are new. So I took them, the new guys, out to dinner because I wanted to show them that I appreciate, what they are doing with the group, and keeping, the quality. They're maintaining the quality that people expect from Blue Oyster Cult. So I wanted to show my appreciation. I took them out to dinner, and I said, you guys need to make a record. You need to put your mark on the Blue Oyster Cult band, because you've all been in the group for 10 years, for a decade. For as long as you've been alive, they were in the band. This is 5 years ago. So now they've been in the band like 15 years. So they so the new record is all the songs that they wrote. They wrote them, they played everything except for, I think what they had me do, and they had a few other people contribute stuff, more like cameo appearances, which is fine. But so I don't blame them. They want to go out and play these new songs and show people that, yeah, we're part of this band too. We're not just copy guys from copying the old guys. So I agree with that. And so, but I don't want to wait for them to decide they want me to come back to them. I want to push ahead and do my own thing, and play these Imaginos songs, which have never been done before. So,
Good for you, man. Did you get mad when your brother never left when you first did?
Okay, yeah, I did get a little upset. I felt that, I felt the whole thing was a betrayal, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. Guess I don't think about it that much anymore. But at the time, I would dwell on it a bit, and why did this happen, and why, But then, over time, I would talk to my brother, or I would talk to those guys, and I would see that, oh, well, I did this, and they felt like I was doing something wrong. So they had their reasons, and I understand that. You know, it's all
Why?
good.
Why do you think you guys are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Hmm. Uh, Lack of desire.
Mhm.
I'm just throwing that. Me personally, I don't give a hoot about that. Care less. I could not care less about being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, what I'd really like to do is get a Grammy someday. That'd be a real feather in the cap. The Grammys I care about. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not so much.
Yeah, that's garbage. Give me that Grammy.
Give me the Grammy. That's what I want. Because the Grammy is really all the musicians voting. It's not a bunch of people, with who think they know more than everybody else.
Okay.
I know people who are on that committee, the Grammy committee, and they're nice people and all that, but it's a different thing. It's a more like an elitist thing. It's like a West Coast versus East Coast, or I don't know. I can't quite get it. But we haven't even been considered ever. So it's, it's what it is. We're not the hippest group around, I guess.
It makes no sense. You guys are one of the most famous rock bands in the world, but yet rappers are there and before you.
Like I say, it's like this small group of people making all those decisions. So it's not doesn't mean that much to me.
You really guys do deserve more than you guys get.
Well, like I say, I don't take it that seriously.
When you first started playing music, did you ever think your career would be this big?
No, no. I thought that maybe I thought that I would be like my uncle Bill. I would have a job and I would go out on the weekends and play shows. I'd play at the local bar and have a couple beers with the guys and go home. you know, Practice once every 2 months. That'd be it. But I really did in my heart. I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to go on tour. I wanted to travel the country and play music. So, but I really didn't think I was good enough to do that.
You didn't think you thought you were just gonna just take some drinks with some local civilians, but no, you've been taking drinks with Ozzy Osbourne. What's good?
You're too funny, man. Great, great. What's good? Yeah, true, true that.
True that. True that. Now, how did you adapt to all these changes in the music industry all over these years? How did you adapt to them?
Well, that's something that I think helped being a teacher,
Okay.
because students would come in and say, ah, man, I got something, in the early days, it was as fresh, now it's like popping or some other expression. These expressions, that's so 2018, but they always come up with new expressions and they're always talking about the new music. And I find that some of it I really like, and others, other things I don't care for. So, Travis Scott, I thought Travis Scott was pretty, he had a little something.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, he had a little salt, he had a little spice,
he was no Chief Keef.
but he got it.
That's a compliment because Chief Keef, I can't stand that guy. He's awful. The
Uh, and
mumble rappers, it's like what does anybody see in this? It's not intelligible. It doesn't sound, to me, he doesn't sound like. Sometimes you hear a rapper, you don't really understand what they're saying, but the rhythm of how they're fitting their words into the beat is really cool. It's like, Little Yachty. Little
yeah,
Yachty, great stuff. Just with his rhythms but Chief Keef has none of that. And Fresh Montana, those guys, nah, I don't care for that at all.
yeah, it's kind of just like basically they just do this, but they just got a good beat. They just do money, gunny, lamo, gunny, gunny, gum.
Yeah, yeah, it's too much pot. I think they're just too high when they're trying to
I
try. It's like, guys, try and do it straight. See if
try
you
to
like
do
it
it.
better.
Try to do it like, yeah, this is how I do it. Yeah, this is how I work. Yeah, this is. See, do it like that instead of goni, goni, gani, mugi, lani, ganu. I had to go off into my gibberish there. Got good gibberish. That's all I gotta say. One day I'm gonna make that into a language. I don't know how, but one day I'll do
Okay,
it.
I'll be listening.
Okay.
God willing.
Now how did you? Oh, sorry. You were in the days of the albums and the entire band recording in the studio. Nowadays, nowadays
Yeah,
it's all streaming, and you can record it. And now you can record an album from home with bands all over the world.
yeah, it is. It is mind-boggling that you can record an album with where nobody is ever in the same room at the same time. That is quite amazing. But I find there is something that happens when people play in the room together. Like, for instance, I'm recording an album with the Dictators. Well, actually, I just recorded one song. We went into the studio all together and we recorded 4 songs, but now we're doing some more songs. And this first song that we're doing, um, what we did was we went into a practice studio. Went into a practice studio a few times, maybe 3 or 4 times. And every time I was there, I would record everything that we did. And then when I get home, I would send all the other guys the tracks that we had recorded, and the practice, just jamming, right? And they would say, "Oh, this one here, this really worked out well, and listen to this arrangement. How is this? Maybe if we sped it up just a little bit." So I'll take those tracks and I'll mess around with them like that, where I'll speed them up, slow them down, change the key, change different things, and through those practice tapes, we will actually create a track. And but then we all have studios in our houses, so we'll go and work on it. I'll go and play the drum part, and then I'll send it to the bass player, and he'll play the bass part, and then he'll send it to the guitar player, and he'll play the guitar part, and then we'll all get together in one room to do the vocals. So that's what we've been doing, and that works out. It sounds, the sound quality is terrific because we can get everything to sound exactly how we want it to sound, and yet we're still incorporating that feeling of playing all in the room together. And a lot of times you come up with an arrangement, you'll just say, geez, it seems that we need something here. This will happen to me. I'll be like, we need something here. And there'll be a build up, build up, goes into the chorus again. And that's what happens a lot in music, is that you'll have a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, and then you have another section, like they call it the bridge or the middle eight or different things. But that section tends to go to a different key and either builds up and then goes directly into another chorus, or it builds up and then stops and then goes into the chorus, or builds up and it fades out. There's always different things. So you'll sometimes you'll set it up that it's not doing the right thing. So when you're playing in the room together, you get these ideas like, oh, what if we stop here? Or what if we change the key and go up another key? Or so you can't really do that long distance. You really need to be in the room together. So there's something to be said about still doing that, but you can make a great record not being with nobody in the same room. I mean, it's happened. So it can happen. And the technology is amazing that you can actually do that, and everything syncs up, now that it's digital, everything syncs up. You do that in the old days and sometimes somebody would be off, so it's much easier to keep everything together.
Plan on doing any live shows this year?
Yes, yes. I have Imagino show on January 15th. Then I'm playing with this rockabilly guy, Robert Gordon, who's had hits in the 80s. And I'm doing 2 gigs with him, I think the 12th and the 19th of February. And then I have a gig with my other group, Blue Coop, with Dennis Dunaway from Alice Cooper. And that is on July 16th. And then I'm doing some gigs with the Dictators in Europe in August. So I've
Wow.
got a bunch of stuff coming up. So, I'm still, working on that Dictators record and working on Imaginos 3, in the meantime, whenever I have some downtime.
It has to be pretty scary to go tour now with all these bands getting COVID. It has to be pretty scary, is it?
I don't know. I take every precaution, and I get all my shots. I'm doing everything I can to not get sick. I get a flu shot every year too. So
Oh, okay. So
usually,
basically, you basically just got, okay, I got this, I got the vaccine, I got the flu shot, and then I got this spray. Bro, you sound set, man. You sound set.
yeah, and I wear a I usually wear a mask in a club. If
Good.
people want to take pictures and they don't want me to be wearing a mask, I'll say, let's go outside, take the picture outside, you know, run outside, take a
That makes
picture.
sense. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, man, good for you, bro. You smart. You still wear your mask, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, until really we know we're safe, and hopefully that will happen next year sometime. But I mean, a lot of things are going to happen. They're going to have a cure for this thing, where even if you do get sick, you can go to the doctor, you can go to urgent care, they give you a shot, and you're better the next day. That's what they're predicting, is that it'll be a 1-day illness, so it
Good.
won't be that big deal. No, nobody's going to die from it anymore.
Oh, okay. So it's like so is COVID just gonna stay with us and it's just gonna be like a 1 day thing?
It's going to be like a cold, like
Oh, okay. So it's just gonna become our new cold?
Yep. I believe that's what's going to happen. It's not going to be such a big deal.
Okay, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Cool, cool. Cool beans. Cool beans. You get
Beans. I haven't heard that in years. Okay, that's a good one. I
it.
used to say that all the time. Cool beans.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
Yep.
Trust me, my entire family says it, so it's
Yeah.
coming to my language. What is your favorite memory from playing a show?
Oh, well, my favorite memory is when in 2016 I went on the road with Blue Oyster Cult, and I we played in Dublin, Ireland at the the Academy Theatre. I don't even know if it's still there, but and it was a small venue. It was probably 600 seats, and there was a balcony, so there was and so the audience was really close to the stage, and they sang along with every song, like at the top of their lungs. It was so wonderful to hear them singing our songs. It was and it was the first time I'd ever played in Ireland, and of course my mother was from Ireland, so you know it was very, and of course she had passed
Oh, sorry
a
for
little,
your loss, man. Sorry.
yeah, 10 years before that, but
Oh,
but she would have loved to. She would, I know she was, if there's a heaven and she could see what I'm doing, she'd be smiling, going,
do you think
yeah,
she would be smiling at me?
yes, yes, that we're doing this interview, of course. Come on.
Hey, hey, how you doing? I know I'm a total stranger, but what's up?
Yeah.
What is your worst memory from playing a show? Do you have any worst?
Oh, I don't know. There's all kinds of weird things that happened. One time one time I was supposed to play a show in Milwaukee, and I got a kidney stone.
Oh,
Yeah, and I had to be hospitalized. I couldn't play the show. That was terrible. That's the worst pain I've ever had. So
man, what you do? You do a lot of pop or something that day, or?
no, 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 no. It was well, I'd moved to a different place, and for some reason I changed my routine. I used to drink a lot of water, and then I wasn't, I was out running and I wasn't getting the water, and I wasn't, and so I think I got dehydrated, really, is what happened.
I
I just
drank an entire water. I drank an entire water bottle each day, every single day.
Yeah, it's good. Water is good for you. It's really, I didn't realize it at the time, but after when I was in the hospital, they said look, you're dehydrated. You need to drink more water. So ever since then, I drink a lot of water.
And it's very hydrating. It's very hydrating too. So that,
Yeah.
and it's also a very good thirst quencher too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, sometimes, you feel like, I know that I used to like sugary drinks, but, now I don't even bother with that. I just, water is fine. And, and you don't want to get a kidney stone, believe me.
Oh, trust me, my dad tortures me, and my papa tortures me when they tell me their stories. Like, it came right out of my body as soon as I used the bathroom. Came right out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you pee and the blood comes out, it's like, oh, thank God.
Oh, uh, but oh God, it's kind of weird and it hurts. Ah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Fortunately, we heal and better. So,
Yeah,
and that,
thank God these things are healing.
and then everything is good. Then you're like, okay, I promise I'm going to drink more water.
I promise this time. It's my new revolution, or my how do you call it? The New Year's revolution.
Resolution.
I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, resolution.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay. What's next for you?
The next thing, I mean, the very next thing is I'm going to start practicing with the band. That's going to be right after Thanksgiving, probably on December 1st.
How do my followers follow you? How can they follow?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. You could look me up. I mean, there's not really that many Albert Bouchards on Facebook, but you can tell it's me because I'm holding the guitar. And or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's pretty good. And that's youtube.com/altbouch, ALTBOUCH. And
Awesome.
so that's uh that's how they can get to my YouTube channel because I do a lot on YouTube. I have for half a year I do a weekly vlog. So that starts around March, and I go March through the summer, and then sometime in July I stop, and I will once in a while do another video. I'll do my vlog is called most cowbell.
Most cowbell.
Yeah, yeah, not more cowbell, most cowbell you could
Oh
ever have.
no, not just cowbell, but most cowbell. That's how you do it, baby.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Trust me, I get into that cowbell, but not just cowbell, but most cowbell.
So those, and I have a website that if you want to see what my gigs are, uh, and that is Albert Bouchard, my name, .net,
Okay.
because there's another Albert Bouchard who has a restaurant. And he's got the
copycat.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's younger than me too. So
Oh,
I actually know him. He lives um, in Newport, Rhode Island. So I actually last summer I went to his restaurant. Oh my God, it was so good.
really?
Fantastic, yeah. Bouchard is the name of the restaurant.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. I look forward to seeing him again.
Okay, and they can get all your music and merch and everything else there, right?
Yep, yep. They can find the links to all of that.
All right, man. Hey, if I buy a cowbell and send it over to you, will
Yes,
you sign it for me?
absolutely,
Send over postage to get it back to me as well.
absolutely. Just contact Chipster because
Okay.
I say my address on this podcast, but contact Chipster, and you know him, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you or Hadley or one of those people there, and I will send you I will sign it and send it back to you.
Oh
No
my
problem.
God, thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, man. I had a wonderful time talking to you. Well, thank you for being on my show, man. I hope the next time we talk is at the backstage at one of your shows, bro. Or maybe you can be on my show again. I'd love to do another interview.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Yeah.
an honor, man. I had a wonderful time talking to you.
Yeah, man. You're
Yeah.
great.
Oh, thank you, man. You're a
Okay.
legend, bro. I'll see you soon, man.
All right.